Kimberly Mellons.
Oh my goodness, why are we not together? We are not together for the first time in 10 weeks. We've just come back from an amazing adventure through France, Ibiza, Spain, and England. It was the best. I had the best time. Thank you for just being you, and we just had some amazing memories, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right.
I came back from Bali in February. I personally felt like I was so happy not to be going anywhere because I'm usually going somewhere all the time. I've usually got a retreat or whatever, and I love that. But all of a sudden I was like, oh, I don't have to go anywhere, and it actually felt good. I think a few travel-y people felt that as well. All year I was like, usually get these downloads of where I'm going to be throughout the year, and this year I wasn't getting anything. People were like, are you going to be going to Burning Man? Are you coming back to Bali? Are you going there? Are you going here? And I was like, tumbleweeds. Nothing was coming. And then when the lockdown happened, I was like, oh yeah, that's why, because no one's going anywhere. And so after the lockdown kind of crazy went on, the only place that kept coming to me was Ibiza. Go to Ibiza. If you're going anywhere, you're going to Ibiza. And so one day I just shared that with you, and you said, I want to come too. You're going to Ibiza too. And that's how best friends operate, on the same wavelength. We are very similar, and we also are slightly different in how we prepare things. I'd been on a road trip, a few road trips before. I kind of had this feeling of not to plan it because you never really know. And when you're on a road trip, you constantly like finding different places along the way, and that's kind of the magic of it. At the same time, we had these ideas of where we wanted to go, which originally was Glastonbury, Monaco, and then somewhere in the middle of France to go horse riding, and then Barcelona, and then Ibiza. Anyway, didn't quite happen.
And I remember being sat there like trying to figure out, okay, so if we leave on Monday, we're going to be in Ibiza by Friday. Want to get there for the weekend. Okay, where are we going to be by day one, and what time, what hotel should book? Okay, we want to go horse riding in Leon, let's book the horse riding. Couldn't find the horse riding, wasn't open. And then I got to the point and I was just like, this is really hard. And you were like, let's just not plan it. And I was like, a brilliant idea.
We'd said we were going to go after my launch, and then when we heard that Manchester might be locking down again, I remember just ringing you up one night and going, do you want to go at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning? And you were like, I'm down. And off we went a week early or something. So the moral of the story here, peeps, is you don't have to plan everything. Like, freestyle can be way better. And we found this more and more throughout our trip.
I try to live my life in flow as much as possible. There's a part of me that still has that fear of needing to be structured. And that was like one of my big lessons when we first left, was like, just trust in the unfolding. But I obviously wasn't embodying it as much as I thought I was.
The universe sometimes wants you more than you think you want it. And we got wanted and we went with it. Quite a few times on our road trip, we had to let go of everything we thought it was going to be and allow a different opportunity in. And then as soon as we got into France, we were like, okay, I think we can just calm down a bit now, and started like dotting around. We didn't go to any of the places we were planning to go, but we found new places that we loved on the way. It was like the universe wanted us in certain places and not others. Whenever I get on a plane and change countries, or whenever I go on a big car journey or a ferry or whatever, I always say to myself, what am I leaving? What am I cutting cords with? What do I not need? I'm literally going to leave it there, and I'm going to make space for something new in this new place. So it's a bit like new moon or full moon, where you do your intentions, but it's just another way to like audit what you need and want. It's great.
So what else did we learn on the actual road trip down?
That our bodies can function without greens.
Just about.
Because Kimmy and I both eat vegetables at every meal, well, give or take. On the way, it was a little bit stressful because we felt we weren't getting our nutrition that we normally get. I massively realised like our bodies can survive on nothing and still function really well. They can function just on water for a small amount of time. So that was a big lesson.
We're still able to do our calls, and like I was driving, you were doing your calls, and it was just so in flow. Again, we didn't control anything, but you were like, I've got a call at 11. Oh, great, I've got one at 1. So you do yours and I'll swap, and then it just perfectly, didn't it?
So newsflash to any location independent people who are now remotely working, even if you work in corporate, people who have their own business, people who want their own business, like, you do not need to be, even in lockdown corona times, like, people were like, oh, you won't get there, and we were like, we'll just make it work, and if we don't, we'll get stuck somewhere else. Like, we were just unattached. And yeah, you could say we don't have kids or like commitment, but we do have commitments and we do have things, but we just prioritize freedom and adventure and expression. And I'm just like, why are more people not doing this? Like, we're special, but we're not special. Why aren't more people doing it? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just having the courage just to go and do it and just saying, I can, I'm off, and just knowing that you're always supported.
So the punchline, we got this epic house that we totally manifested. And before we went, we knew we wanted like 2 bedrooms, an expansive place. We wanted like a pool. We wanted within 10 minutes from Santa Eulalia, so it was near our friends. We wanted all these different things, and we made a short list of what we wanted, and then we put it out, and immediately we got this house offer, and it was August in Ibiza, and houses are really hard to get and really expensive. We got it. It was the exact price that was our budget. It was everything. The only thing it didn't have was a pool. And then literally, like, when we were moving in, the guy going had said, oh yeah, I've installed a pool. So it actually did have a pool when we got there. We're like, thank you, invest more, please. So we had this really like countryside finca, really cool Ibiza, massive garden, like kale grown in the garden place. And it was so cool. It looked like Burning Man. It's really zen. There's no like city noise, there's no car noise, there's no electricity noise, like there's nothing. It's like, and it was so good for us, wasn't it? Our nervous systems was like, whoa. And then after a certain amount of time, we were like, okay, we've really slowed down, and now we're ready to like smash it, because both of us are massive in our businesses, and it's a big part of who we are, that we're creating and we're in service and we're helping people and we're smashing it and we're abundant. And we were like, right, we've had a really good break, like, let's carry on smashing it. So what happened next?
So we were coming to the end of our stay in Ibiza, and my head was like, fear-based. I don't want to go back to England. I don't want to be in the weather. Oh my God, if I go back to England, I'll be in England for 6 months. What if I get locked down? It's very fear-based. So I was like desperately just wanting to stay in Ibiza. So looking back now, I know that was like my main operating system. We were still wanting to stay in Ibiza. We weren't like full body yes to coming back either. But we're looking on Airbnb, and then we saw this amazing villa, this like multi-million-pound villa. Should have been like tens of thousands to rent for the month. But we could
have been 20 grand.
Should have been 20 grand. Yeah. We messaged the woman and said, this is our budget. Can you come down to it? And she was like, yeah, we can do that. Right. I went to go and see it, and it was just like perfect. We walked in and it was like, yes, it's just felt so amazing. It had a gym, and it was like, oh, it was perfect, off the vision board. So really excited, really buzzing to move into Villa Hugo. So we had to go into the office, sign the contracts, and already we felt a little bit like, I felt like a little bit like, oh, I've got to sign a contract. I was reading it through, making sure there was no clauses and stuff. And then she just kept changing the goalposts and saying, oh, you need to pay cash.
That morning, my waking thought was, don't get the villa. And I was like, oh, what is that? Is that fear? Is that lack? Because it's like a big expense that we didn't have to do, but we were going to do. Is that lack? Is that fear? And I was like, you know what? I am the creator of my own reality. And if I want to smash it this month and level up in all the ways, then that's what I'll do. So I'd already had the conversation with myself about coming in to tell you that we're not going to get this villa. I guess like mind had kicked in. I can have whatever I want. We went and got the villa and we signed for it. What we've realized is Kim and I can literally make the best out of the worst situation ever when we are so positive and we're constantly seeing the good in people and things, and we're so focused on what's going well. And sometimes we can go along with something and not realize we've gone off our path because we feel so good in anything.
Yeah, and then we were driving back, and we were both a little bit quiet, weren't we? And our friend asked us, are we excited to move into the villa? And we were like,
Well, we will be when we get there, because we're both really positive people.
Well, I mean, I just didn't feel that excited to move in for some reason.
I was checking in with myself and I was like, oh, no, I don't feel excited to move into this multi-million euro villa. Oh, interesting. I will do. I will. When I get there, it'll all change, because when we went in, we both really felt it, and I trust that. And I was like, what is that? I was observing myself not being excited, and you were doing the same, but we didn't necessarily know. And then I started to feel really anxious and kind of sick. And I was like, oh, what is that? What is that? I felt like something bad was going to happen.
In my mind, I was like, I know I've committed to this, but actually, do I want to be there? Like, I kept feeling, right, my future self in that villa, how do I feel? And then my future self in England. It started to feel better being in England than it did being in the villa.
Better being in England, losing the money for the villa, but not moving into it, still felt better than moving into it.
Yeah. We were prepared to pay the full amount because we thought we had to pay the full month's rent. We were like, well, actually, we prefer to pay that and not be in there than to be in there. That's how much energy, like, in alignment is really important to us, isn't it? And we both looked at each other and we were like, should we just go back home?
We sat on the beach, so nature obviously really helps when you've got a big decision to make, to just go and sit in nature, because even that, nature gives you the answers.
But you were saying, this is telling us something. You were like, this is telling us something. What is it? And that's what made us sit and think about it, wasn't it?
We were both sat there facing opposite directions. Like, I wrote down like 5 points and then we just shared it. And I was like, don't think I want to be there, because it would be in flow, and like, yeah, we might lose the money, but the money we would lose by paying that amount to be there, which we'd already paid, but not being aligned and not wanting to be there, like in a month, the money that between us we could lose by being out of alignment was bigger than the amount we would save by staying there. It's just how it works.
Yeah. So we basically got in the car and just said, right, let's go.
We just literally sacked it off and drove home.
Yeah, we left Formentera at like 12. We got to Ibiza for 3. We should have checked in at 4. And by 6, we were off.
We literally just left. And as soon as we left Ibiza, you were like, oh, maybe we should stay in Ibiza a couple of days. And I was like, seriously? I just feel we need to leave. The soul contract with the place is done. It's done. Like, it's just time to move on. And anything you try and hang on to, and Kim gave a great analogy.
It's like trying to start another after party after you've been to the after party. Like, you're trying to like, okay, come on guys, come on, one more song or one more dance or one more day.
When you've had a great night and you're still trying to get everyone rallied and you can see the energy's gone, it's better to just cut your losses and go home and do a backdoor boogie than just keep on like paying for more, trying to throw money at something that's not really going to work. And that's what happened. So it literally, as soon as we left Ibiza, everything came into flow. I was in a launch, which had been really steady. And then as soon as we got on that ferry, like, it just all sold. And as soon as I got there, it all sold. And it's like, you have to be in alignment, especially in our line of work. You have to be.
Yeah, it's all about energy. And, you know, when we feel good, then everything else flows to us. And here we are, back in England.
Yeah, and the thing that I think both of us were resisting a bit, which is coming back to England in sort of being in isolation as well and coming back to lockdown. The thing that we were both kind of avoiding has actually been really good, because it's in alignment. It doesn't matter where you are, if you're in alignment, you feel great.
Yeah, and I think the biggest lesson for me is trusting the unfolding. I really wanted to move into that villa because I wasn't trusting the universe. I was wanting to control it. Also with the road trip, trusting the unfolding. And even now, like, now we know we can actually get to Bali. Like, I was like so excited to come back to then be able to go really quick. I'm just trusting in the unfolding of it. I'm just in complete trust of the universe, and I'm just asking it to show me what to do. Thank you for being the massive vision for me to be unfolded in.
Anytime we made an aligned decision, we got so excited. When we decided we were going to leave Ibiza, we were like, ah! We were just like on fire, weren't we? And obviously when you're in that excitement, that's when you are a magnet to all the good things.
Here's to more adventures with you, my friend, more unfolding adventures.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. I'm very grateful for all the memories and adventures and love that you give to me and everyone in your life.
I feel like I've gone through a spiritual awakening and really sped up my spiritual growth. And I always do when I'm around you. And you always just remind me of what's possible and how I want to be. So thank you for being you, my dear.
Video.
Oops, it's video.
I love you. I love you too.